Hey everybody, welcome back to another Destiny 2 Fashion Friday. Hope you guys have had a great week. I've been enjoying the Season of the Chosen a lot. The new Presage mission, really cool. If you haven't gotten in there and done that, make sure you grab a team or you can even do it solo blind. I don't think it'd be too hard if you're high enough light. I do think it's worth it. And the new gun is very cool as well, and just been loving Destiny in this new season. A lot of good new loot, and I think that's helped a lot. Gets people playing for a cause, which is really important. So today we're doing a hunter fashion, focusing on the Praetorus armor once again, the seasonal base armor, no ornaments. Just like I did with the Warlock, and that's probably the plan for Titan next week if you're interested in Titan. Before we do that though, I wanted to talk about this set I created last season right at the end to kind of say farewell. And it was also a challenge to use the new Stompies ornament. So we got the set here. It's a very dark set for me. I usually liked a lot more color, but I couldn't find a shader that made these Stompies ornaments pop or look really cool for me. Yeah, I mean, there are some shaders that I liked, but I kind of just settled in this all black look. And I paired it with that Vice ornament chest, the Season of the Dawning arms, the Season of the Dawning helmet, and a cloak called Home. Really like this set altogether. A lot of black, but you got the whites and the gray kind of weaved in here. Really like how this mask looks on this set, actually. Really cool, like Rorschach painting kind of look. If you're a fan of Watchmen, I think you might really appreciate this shader. That's the Tangled Rust shader on that, if you're wondering. Really interesting look, and usually just kind of makes the metal like all that black color, but it left an interesting little pattern in the white. Let me know what you think of my closing season 11 set though, and I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to my season 12 sets. We got a set focusing on the helmet and the arms from the season pass. I originally wanted to make the mask have some interesting red highlights to make it kind of look like bloody bandaged head, since it has such a like ominous and like bound look over the entire skull. I have a default shader on this helmet currently though, and it just kind of fell into place. I started playing around with the Rivalry Stoic on the arms as well, and it comes through with a nice blue and red, but also has a nice asymmetry with that tan on the right arm. So kind of started going down this blue accent path. Like, I really wanted to use these Europa boots as well. I really like these boots. There's so much detail in the thigh and the shin, and they really give me that space cowboy vibe that I honestly love and play Destiny for mainly. I actually found this chest piece, which I have a lot of trouble incorporating with sets most of the time. Looks really good with these legs. You got the laces on the top of the shin of the legs, kind of matching that stomach lace look, and those laces on the chest usually are what I don't like about it, but they really flow well here and match the motif in the legs well. This is just a great combo, this chest and leg piece. Nice shader to get the blue to match in the chest, keep the whole blue vibe going. For the cloak, I wanted to hit that tan accent to give it some support so it wasn't so jarring or contrastic all by itself. And the shader does a good job of matching that color and giving an interesting look to it as well. So for the head, you can see I've got the default shader on. I actually had the all black helmet on, but you can see the default shader has actually a pretty good blue that matches this blue. The main head has a like greenish blue that doesn't fit that well in here, but I thought it was an interesting component. I just like the like total black look, matches the other black accents, and looks really interesting by itself. So let's move on to the next set. All right, here's our second set. of the seasonal base armor. For this one, we're focusing on just the cloak, and this cloak is pretty difficult to work with, especially once you've seen some people make Smurf outfits with it. It's hard to get the Smurf hat out of your head once you've seen it, but I tried my best here. Thought the Celestial Nighthawk ornament did a good job of accenting the slump or hump on top of the head of the helmet and bouncing it out just a little bit, make it look a little bit more normal. So then I kind of went into this bird theme a little bit more and chose these old crucible arms. Got nice like feathers coming out of the upper arm and a nice bird decal in the upper shoulder. The orange and blue kind of just came from the cloak looking really nice in that orange, and you know, to be honest, the main motivation was to get it as far away from the Smurfy white as possible. I then went on to these legs, and I really liked how the Forbidden Visage had this baggy upper thigh but armored bottom of the leg. That was a lot of shaders to have some interesting color mixes. This shader specifically did a good job of matching the tan in the shoulder, while also giving me the orange and blues to match the rest of the set. Thought this really came together well. The Lux chest piece, I didn't realize how well this went with the Forbidden Visage legs, but definitely gonna be using this combination more in my day-to-day. Really nice combo. Interesting like line segments coming down in the middle of the Lux chest piece. Just flow well into that upper thigh region of the Forbidden Visage. Great combo, actually, you know, surprisingly. Overall, I think this set succeeded in giving that bird vibe, giving a really interesting look, and being not at all Smurfy, and you can't tell me otherwise. Let's go on to the next set. On to the third set here. So this was probably the one that went through the most iterations, and I'm still not exactly excited how it turned out. I think there's some elements that I really like and that flow well together, but there's still some elements that I think could be improved upon. So let me know if you have any ideas for this set specifically, or any of the others as well, I guess. So for this one, we're showcasing just the legs from the new seasonal base armor. Really like the style. There's similar style to the Warlock boots, but in these, the legs shade asymmetrically. Actually, you'll see the upper thighs will shade same, but the lower leg will shade opposite depending on what shader you're using. And I really don't like that for this specific set. I think it's because they just look like sneakers or shoes, and that's kind of what I went through with the Warlock. Maybe I should have leaned into something different for the Hunter, but I just like the way they look as like shoes. So I was really limited there because I wanted a shader that shaded them at least similarly. Also, a big problem with these stylistically is this like towel in the front of the legs. I felt like transitioning from those was pretty difficult, but I was really happy with how this Solstice chest actually works with it. Solstice chest has that nice like cloth band around the waist, and I wanted to shade that the same way. And these actually pretty luckily are the same shader zone. If you're confused by that sentence, check out my shader video. So if you just use the same shader, they actually match perfectly. That's not really something I like to do, but in this case, I use mostly just Amethyst Veil and Metro Shift, as I kind of just wanted to keep it simple and keep this royal blue going. And those are really the only two shaders that I found that nice blue in them. So you can see wanted to match that purpley glow of the arm with the Amethyst Veil. So I got the Void subclass on the Solstice chest. And then just to get another glow accent in here, 'cause, you know, matching glows is fun. I'm rocking the Siege Breaker ornament helmet, and this veil as well to get a nice purple that pretty rare in the glow section in my experience. And then to cap it all off, I went with the Cloak Called Home with the oiled gunmetal shader. That gives it a nice like camo-y black and gray camo look, and I think it really looks cool as a cap off to this set. Matches that right arm of the Dawning arms as well. This set was pretty hard to pull together. I went through an iteration with the Red Moon Phantom vest, and I really liked how I was transitioning into more of a copper and red with that Metro Shift leg as far as like mixing up shaders was going with that. But thematically, I just felt like it didn't fit. The chest was such a like more like hard metal top to this like all fabric leg, and just seemed out of place. Didn't transition well between the two, so I transitioned over to this. But let me know what you think of that Red Moon Phantom vest, and if I maybe should have stuck with that one. Let's transition over to the last set now, and here we are at the final set. So this one we're focusing on the chest piece. This is a really cool chest piece. It reminds me of like lifting belt. I'm not sure what to call that. Like you put on for squatting or something around the lower back. So I wanted to go with like an industrial vibe, like someone who carries stuff around all day might wear one of these. So whenever I'm going with that theme, you know, I'm looking at Throne of Suit and the Cinderchar family of like scuffed, and here I really kind of fell in love with this orange that popped. I went with this helmet and cloak combo. Really like how these came together. Whenever I rock this Halloween helmet ornament, I usually like to pair it with this cloak just because it looks so good with that tube coming into the neck. Really interesting look. And I found this shader give a really cool like pattern and a nice pop of color as well. So I went with that, and that set me on a theme of orange and like dirtied look. So I shadered the chest in a really dark rusted collar look, and it gave me a nice pop of white in the midsection to really help separate the leg and the chest. But to keep the design theme going, I found these Vanguard legs to kind of follow the same pattern that happens underneath the stomach of the chest, and it flows really well into the bottom. This dark fluorescent shader really mimics that chest color really well despite being a different shader, as well as gives me a nice little pop of orange to match the rest of the set. The shins actually do a pretty good job of matching that near the neck part as well. So really great combo of shaders that wouldn't have really expected to go this well together. For the arms, I kind of wanted to go full out, get a loud pop of orange. It was pretty subtle throughout everywhere else. So I went with these Siege Breaker arms, which I've actually been using a lot more lately. Really been enjoying them. I think they have a really cool aesthetic that fits in well here. To cap it all off, I used the Crucible cloak, and I put in that new shader, Abyssian Gold. That shader does a really nice job of making some grays and browns that look really great in this set. So that about wraps it up for all the sets for this video. Got one of each of the seasonal armor pieces, and that was my goal. Let me know which is your favorite set. I had a lot of fun making these. Interesting challenge, really unique look to the Hunter set. Each piece I feel like almost has a different theme, but together they still work pretty well together. Which I thought the Warlocks kind of struggled in that regard. The whole set together kind of looked a little bit weird in my opinion. But I think the Hunter set does do a better job of looking pretty cool by itself. If you're excited for Titan next week. Make sure you subscribe and check this channel around Friday. If you're a forgetful person, you can hit the notification bell. And please leave a like on the video if you found a set that you really liked or found some inspiration to weave one of these base armors into your next set. And I'll see you guys in the next one.